We're going to start watching some more 2027 prospects on this channel. So as always, you guys let me know if there's anybody you want me to take a look at and get up on my channel. Today, we're going to be watching one of the top-ranked prospects in the country, one of the top-ranked running backs, Landen Williams-Callis, 5'7", 180, from Randle in Richmond, Texas. So we're going to be watching a smaller back for sure, 5'7", 180. We're going to be talking about this kid in one of the five, maybe the 5 percentile. He's bigger than maybe 5% of running backs we're going to watch on this channel. I can also tell you he's going to be faster than 99% of them. We have a 10.59 100-meter time. That's top level. You know, that's going to be, that puts him in probably going to be the fastest running back in this entire cycle. And if not, there's only going to be one or two kids that are that much faster. So you see the first play alone, just hits the hole, very explosive, and then he's gone. Now, that's all good. You know, we kind of need to see that to justify this kid being smaller. How is he is there any nuance to his game? You know, a lot of these track athletes won't be great football players, especially as sophomores in high school. Just don't have an understanding of the running back position yet. Not the case with the kid that we're watching today. You'll see in a bit. He is so elusive in the open field. You know, very much has an understanding of how fast he is and, you know, when to completely turn on the burners. But does a good job almost using that to his advantage, because there's going to be a lot of times where you'll see safeties, linebackers over pursue just because of how fast he is, and he knows to kind of gear down a little bit and, you know, cut back the other way and hit it. It's the same thing in baseball. You know, if you have a 99 mile per hour fastball and that's the only pitch you throw, eventually people are going to get used to it. You know, yeah, it sucks, but they're going to get used to it. When you have a knuckleball or, you know, a curveball or a slider to kind of take something off of that, that's when you really talk about a pitcher being effective. And that's really what you see with Landen Williams-Callis here, because, you know, he has that 100 mile per hour fastball, certainly, you know, when he hits the open field, and then can also take some off and really be a nightmare for other kids trying to get an angle on him. And, you know, this is a sophomore in high school we're watching, and we already love the athletic ability. So when we start talking about some of the nuance that he runs with, you'll see it in a couple plays. I think the best example of the elusiveness. There's very few clips, the whole tape, that we see him run at full tilt, which is good because he's not outrunning his blocks, you know. So he does a good job being pretty patient and understanding, you know, kind of letting the blocks, the offensive lineman, get to the next level so he doesn't have to be fast. And then he turns on the jets. We'll see that elusiveness, though, show up in a couple plays here. But athletically, you're getting, like I said, probably 99 percentile athlete, long speed-wise. Very explosive. We don't see a lot of aggressive change of direction, but I think he's just a bit more subtle in his movements. You know, you don't really see some kids you'll see very aggressive. Just looks so easy for him, I think, to kind of change the direction up. And this is some of the vision stuff you see. You know, this is full field here. Not a whole lot of kids kind of know to bounce this to the outside like that, especially as a sophomore in high school. So it's pretty exciting. The mental aspects you're getting with this kid is, you know, only a 15, 16-year-old. Here's another one. Does a good job kind of gearing down and letting the block set and then hitting, you know, this outside zone play that they were running here. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying subtle change of direction. It doesn't even really look like he changes the direction here. This move that he puts on this linebacker that's dropping this, or this safety, I guess this is. It just takes a quarter of a second and then he's going the other way. Maybe even less than that. You know, I almost wanted to get one of those pitch counters where, you know, you count pitches on, where you just click the button and do that for how many hands that touch him this whole video. But I almost feel like we'd be under 3 kids have actually gotten a hand on him this entire video. So naturally at 5'9", 170 or 5'7", 170, we're not going to be talking about a power back. You know, we don't have to be convinced of this kid as at his like contact balance, just because of how good of an athlete he is. But you will see some clips where you see some upside of that. I just don't think that's ever going to be anything that you're going to really ask him to be better than most kids at, because he's already going to be faster than most kids. Change of direction is going to be better than 99% of kids. We're not going to really ever have to ask him to be a power runner, but definitely think you see some flashes of him be proficient, or sufficient, I should say, in that regard. Like I said, but contact balance you don't really need it if they can't touch you. If there's no contact, you don't need to have the balance during it, is what I'm trying to say here. This is like, we talked about the 100-meter, but to me, this is the explosiveness that you're getting with him. So when you're getting a back that kind of can be patient here, and he did a good job like letting this outside linebacker get kicked out by the stalk block or whatever, and then he just hits the jets. It's only a 10-yard play, but these are the plays that show up more than the 80-yard touchdown runs. So very excited to watch this kid kind of grow as a runner. He's already pretty advanced as a running back, but what you're getting athletically is going to be very rare. 5'7", 180 on the smaller end, but very excited to see him at the next level. And we have 2 more years of high school football with him. We're going to do 2 more years of evaluations, but right now you're already getting one of the top backs in the country, I think. You guys let me know what you think about him. Thanks for watching.